Where did it go? I'll get it. I hope. Guyana chestnut, also known as a money tree. Sits in here and grows in the background. That's exactly what these are. They're beautiful. Trees of good fortune. This is from BUiLD Hobby. I needed a decent trailer that was going to be aluminum, and BUiLD Hobby had a matching trailer to go with the truck. Also at wave-rc.com. I'm not affiliated with the site, but I have purchased from them before, and I've had great service. Ready? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, look at this. I didn't tell you it was going to be an assembly, did I? All aluminum. Look at the ramps. Look at those double springs on there, guys. It's so smooth. Look at that. Straight off the back of the trailer. All aluminum. What a beautiful piece. I love this. See, I've had trailers in the past. A lot of them weren't wide enough for my heavy duty equipment to go on. The bulldozers, the excavators, whatnot. I want to keep going here. A beautiful wide trailer to celebrate the day. How fortunate. Oh my. What a, oh my, the rocker suspension on the bottom. And I got it all laid out. Old school RCSparks BUiLD style, where I like to put out all the bags in sequential order so I know what I'm working with. It makes it easier as I'm moving through the build. I would say this looks like it's going to be a fairly minor build, good for my old wrists, because doing screws and stuff like that, geez, I've done a lot of those over the years, and I'm certainly paying for it now. Look at these beautiful trailer leg supports. Why do I say that? Watch this. Huh? Uh-huh. Move your fingers, everybody. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. So, instead of just some clicky thing on the back, it's actually this lever. Isn't that nice? So 2 of those. 2 pieces of aluminum for the neck. Listen to that. ASMR, RC ASMR. Let's get working. What do we got on the first page here? Okay, looks like we're doing the gooseneck, and we're going to be using A9, the M3 by 14 mils, and that's going to be easy. Well, A9 it is. Let's bust it open. Yeah, I have been on YouTube long enough to say I remember when we could upload custom backgrounds. Does anybody watching remember when YouTube channels could actually do custom backgrounds? Very MySpace days. Okay, so the gooseneck is laid out, both pieces side to side. Then I'm going to take the block that's already pre-made. All right, these are 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that are pre-assembled for you. One of these sides is going to stick out. It looks like they're identical. So I'll line it up on one side. Probably a touch of thread lock wouldn't hurt in this scenario. Now these tires are not glued, and I'm notoriously known for not gluing my tires. Why? Because I hate how sloppy it can look, but I'll tell you what, that's just old behavior, because the applicators they have now for tire glue is actually insanely good, and there's very little cleanup if you do it properly. But these are aluminum rims with these, or wheels, these are aluminum wheels. They're all built with this convection in the middle. So what we're doing here for the dualies is we're going to put one on this way, so we'll get it onto the axle like so, and then just kind of line up the screw holes there. So that is in over the posts. And then I'm going to take the other one here and I'm going to stick it right over. Now, I've got to get small little nuts all the way around there. That's not going to be easy. Fortunately, they give you these somewhat elongated pieces to help you get a better grip. So these tiny little nuts are M2. Do I have an M2 driver? I have every driver but. So I have to order one of those. It's not going to get here today though. But in the meantime, this tiny little guy, I'm going to put 4 per tire just so we get the idea. Mount them up while I wait for the delivery. Why does it matter? Because these wheels are recessed. You can see how the axle sticks out there. But when you need to get those M2 nuts on those bolts, they're quite far in there. And unless you have a driver, you're going to find yourself at a deficit with even the longer needle nose pliers. So keep that in mind if you're going to get something like this. It would have been nice if they included a small socket in the set, just in one of these little baggies. I haven't seen any, but what I have seen is that they have, I think, 2 different pin sizes. In case you guys are wondering about, is it going to fit your trailer plate? I believe the answer is yes. So that is very helpful. Double E hobby. Put a socket in these kits. Where did it go? And it's gone forever. Let's try that again. At one time, I didn't need glasses to do this. Try a different style here. Alright, then looking at the instructions, I take 4 more M3 countersunk machine screws and I attach the gooseneck underneath the trailer. So let's go ahead and flip that under, and it's going to be right here, obviously. With the gooseneck in place on the trailer, we're not going to use these holes on the bottom. I'm going to use these holes on the side, and I'm going to use bag A1, and that's going to be M3 20 mils. So we're going to need 4 of them. Right up on the side. And then from bag 2, the cross beam that goes at the front. Now we couldn't have installed this or had it installed already because we had to put the gooseneck on, but look at this. This fits right in. I imagine this hole is going to be for a lighting kit. I don't have one right now, but in the future, for sure. Now, does this go right at the front? It does, and I'm going to use a 25 millimeter screw. This is going to be from bag A5. This is why I keep everything laid out easy to see. I'm going to use 2 on this side, 2 on that side. Alright, so a bag of small hex screws, a couple of my hex drivers in case you guys don't have any, kind of look like that, well loved over the years. Let's see if they fit here. Indubitably, it does help to have the right tools. Alright. Putting on the support legs right now. Going to make sure that my release lever is going to be pointed in the right direction. There is 5 per side, so 10 in total, 5 and 5. Seems like this one came short a few screws. It's definitely with the right owner. And none of them are on the floor. I'm short. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 screws. Well, I bet you in my tray I have some extras. That's no problem. Interesting though, the count was off on that one. Huh. So much for experience. I'm such a nerd. I put this plate on upside down. I wonder how many of you were screaming at the screen, "It's upside down!" Well, that's an easy fix. All right, 4 mounting holes right there for those screws. I've got a piece here that has matching holes on this side, and we actually access them through this access hatch, which does have a plate that goes on the end to cover it up. So let's get these mounted up. Again, hand turning this to begin with so I don't over tighten or snap or, you know, strip out any of the screws or the threads. Beautiful. Yeah, I probably want to tighten that up because as I'm driving along, it's going to be a little bouncy. Well, let's do that now, shall we? Okay, what have I just learned? So, from me looking at this adjustment rate, I pulled it out, and because the holes are the way they are drilled on the side, as I push this down, these rods want to push up against the bottom here. So these actually look like they're adjustable, but if you actually screw it into place there, it won't actually go down. So you would have to cut these rods smaller if you wanted to do that. I don't see a way to make that work otherwise. So maybe they're not as adjustable as I thought. You might need different spring rates and to actually slim those down. Huh, that's something new to learn. Let's go back to the old way just to make sure I'm not too crazy. Looking at them, it just looks adjustable, but see, and this actually puts it right back in the right geometry where it's not pushing up against the back. Interesting. Well, I could probably get different springs and increase the spring rate there. Like maybe even put in some bushings. That would work. If I put in some rubber bushings down here, that would work. Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right, ramps on. Really, the last thing I need to do is put the pin in, and depending on the size of pin that I want, large or small, that's the one I put. Which mounting hole? Well, whichever one I want, but I'll start back here. Yeah, there we go. And that, my friends, is another build. Oh, basically completed. It's so pretty, my precious. Look how beautiful that is. I love the weight of it. It feels pro. That's a very nice platform. Alright, so in the last video I hooked up a steering wheel system with a pedal system to the receiver on the inside of my truck. Check it out. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, too low. Too low. Can they go any higher? Oh no. Oh no. The legs don't go high enough. Oh, they need to be like that much higher. That much higher. So I guess I could adjust the legs on that. Give me 1 second. So I'm gonna move it down. I'm gonna try 3 holes. That way it's still supported by 4 screws on either side. And since they're support legs, I don't think it's gonna matter too much. Oh, I can't because of this bump right here. Dude. So they have a trailer for the truck, but it seems to be too tall and it's non-adjustable on this side. What? Now, this needs like an anti-slip pad. And here I'm putting a slip pad on it. I need to get some rubber feet for this, but I'll figure out how first. But for today's video, we will lift the legs, hopefully enough to let the good times roll. It lines up perfectly now, though. It lines up perfectly. Let's see if I can back it in there. It was rather anticlimactic last time.
It's anti-friction now.
There we go. All right, does he still have it? Still have it. Oh, that sounded like it loaded in. Oh yes, oh yes. Now, before I leave the dock, I don't want a penalty. Support legs up, out of the way. All right, let's see if I can maneuver this like I'm actually driving. What a beautiful trailer. Yeah, baby. Well, there you have it. The Double E Hobby trailer that I got from wave-rc.com. Thank you to them for sending that out. There's a few things that I could improve on it for sure. Look at this. You guys got to see me use the steering wheel. How many amazing things have we seen over the last 17 years? If you guys want to pop your comment down below of your favorite RC adventure or things that you remember from Loading Kings to YouTube Gold to the TTC to all the great things that we did. I even went to China. Guys, we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in all these years. We're very grateful. Get outside and have fun with RC. You know I always do. Or if it's raining, stay inside. Play with smaller ones.